When is the last time you let someone see you falling apart? Actually falling apart. Not the managed, composed, I'm going through something but I'm handling it version. When is the last time you asked for help before you had already mostly solved the problem yourself? When is the last time someone asked how you were doing and you told them the truth? All of it. The messy, uncomfortable, real truth, without immediately softening it so they wouldn't worry. If those questions landed somewhere specific in your chest, stay with me. I came across this pattern recently, and it stopped me completely because I recognized it immediately. Because the person who never lets anyone see them struggle is not someone who has it together. They are someone who learned very early and very thoroughly that falling apart in front of other people was not safe. That struggle, when witnessed, created problems. That the version of you that needed things was the version that made everything harder. So you built another version, capable, steady, the one who holds it together no matter what. And you got so good at being that version that somewhere along the way, you lost access to the other one. You handle things. That is what people say about you. You handle things. And you do. Even when you are exhausted. Even when you are scared. Even when you are sitting in your car for 20 minutes before going inside, because you need that time to rebuild the face you wear in there. Even when you are lying awake at 2 in the morning with a weight on your chest that you would never describe to anyone, because describing it would make it real in a way you are not ready for. You handle it. Always. Because handling it is the only version of yourself you fully trust. The paradox that nobody names, the strength other people admire in you, is built on a wound you have never let anyone touch. Psychologists call this a dismissive avoidant attachment pattern, a way of relating to people and to your own emotional experience that develops when vulnerability was consistently met with something painful. Not always drama, sometimes just quiet, reliable unavailability. A parent who was physically present but emotionally absent. An environment where needs made things worse, not better. A childhood where the unspoken rule was, handle it yourself, because no one is really coming. Your nervous system did what it was built to do. It adapted. It learned that self-sufficiency was the safest form of love, that if you needed nothing, no one could fail you, that the best protection against disappointment was to stop expecting anything in the first place. And over time, this stopped feeling like a strategy. It started feeling like a personality. There is something called emotional neglect. Not the absence of care, but the absence of attunement, of someone noticing that you were struggling and moving toward you, of someone making space for your difficulty without making it about them. When that attunement was missing consistently, you learned to provide it for yourself, in private, with no witnesses. Research shows that people who learn to suppress their emotional expression as children don't feel less. They often feel significantly more, but with no reliable outlet, the feeling stays locked inside the nervous system, showing up as tension, as exhaustion, as the low-grade anxiety of someone whose body is always braced for something, like a pressure cooker with no release valve. Everything is functioning, and the pressure just keeps building. Carl Jung wrote, "I am not what happened to me. I am what I choose to become." But before you can choose, you have to be honest about what happened. And what happened is that you were handed a role. The strong one, the capable one, the one who doesn't need anything. Before you were old enough to know you had a choice about whether to accept it. The cost shows up everywhere. At work, you overdeliver and underask. You take on more than your share and feel quietly resentful when it goes unnoticed. But you would never say that out loud, because saying it out loud would mean admitting you needed something. In relationships, you attract people who need you, and you give generously, but you keep the door to your own interior locked. People feel close to you without ever quite reaching you, and you feel the distance but don't know how to close it without lowering something you have spent years building up. Alone, at 2 in the morning, you feel things you would never say. A loneliness that is strange because you have people in your life. An exhaustion that goes deeper than sleep can fix. A grief sometimes for something you can't quite name, which is the grief of never having been held when you were struggling, of always being the one who held. This is the part that most psychology channels completely skip. You might find yourself minimizing your own pain in conversation, starting to say something real and then pulling back, softening it, wrapping it in a joke. The real thing almost got out, but almost is as far as it gets. You might find that when someone offers to help you, your first instinct is to decline before you have even checked whether you need it. The no comes faster than the thought. You might find that your emotional life has 2 settings: completely sealed, or suddenly, without warning, too much. Nothing in between, because you suppressed for so long that when something finally breaks through, It breaks through all at once. You might find that people describe you as mysterious, or private, or hard to read, and you have accepted those descriptions as compliments when really they are the fingerprints of a wound, the shape left by a childhood where being known felt dangerous. You might find that you do not actually know what you would need if you let yourself need something. The question is genuinely hard, because you have not let yourself answer it in so long. None of this is who you are. It is what you learned. Healing for you begins not with tearing down what you built, but with finding one small opening in it. Shadow work is where this starts. Writing down what you are actually feeling in a moment without editing it for an audience, even an imagined one. Just the truth, on paper, for yourself. Your body knows things your composed surface does not. Shadow work is how you start to listen. Learning to identify safe people is part of this. Not people who need you, people who notice you, who ask the right question and then wait, who do not make your struggle about them, who are still there after you've shown them something true. They exist. Your history may have taught you to doubt it, but they exist. And therapy, honest, consistent, nobody is watching therapy, is where you practice the most unfamiliar thing, being the one who needs something. For the person who has spent a lifetime being needed, that hour is not self-indulgent. It is the most direct path back to yourself that exists. Rilke wrote, "Perhaps everything that frightens us is, in its deepest essence, something helpless that wants our love." The struggling version of you, the one you hide, the one you have managed and contained for so long, does not need to be fixed. It needs to be met with patience, with the same warmth you have always given everyone else. The goal is not to be fixed. It is to become whole. Here is the thought I want to leave with you tonight. Every person you have ever admired for being strong, there is a version of them, private and unwitnessed, who also needed someone and did not know how to ask. You are not uniquely sealed off. You are not uniquely alone in this. You learned what you learned in the environment you were given. And now, slowly, you are learning something new. If this found you tonight, share it with someone who always seems fine. They may need it more than they would ever say.